as compared to Chutes and Ladders. Because when you look at the board of Candyland, it is superficially completely hedonistic. I would describe it as sort of operating within the Dionysian realm of thought.
Well, I have to say, even in my memory, the gumdrops and the lollipops still evoke in me this desire to go out and get gumdrops and lollipops. And I just liked looking at the board because it made me happy. Whereas, I don't remember Chutes and Ladders. The Chutes made me happy, but in Candyland, it was like, yeah, there's candy here.
Well, Candyland, that's the reason it's a sophisticated example. Because superficially, it seemingly instills in its audience an idea of, oh, it is pleasurable to engage in a sort of candy stupor, this fantasy of complete hedonism. But here's the thing. Candyland is nothing like that, though, in terms of its actual politics. Because if you think about it, as a monarchy, everyone is employed. The first guy you encounter is a peasant who's just chopping trees. Granted, they're peppermint trees.
Well,
but
you remember this a lot better than I did.
If you look at
I guess you played it more recently.
Yeah, there's the Candy King. Now, the thing that's so fascinating about that is that you're placed into this realm of seeming anarchic hedonism, but then it's revealed to instead just be another form of government, of feudalism, in fact.
Well, you're very controlled as a player.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the most restraining games ever made.
But there's some randomness, though.
It's a straight line. But the
you
randomness...
shuffle the cards and you hand them out. And the cool thing about the cards, if you remember, aren't they colored? They're not numbered or anything. They're just
you're
colors.
told where to go. And not to mention that
sounds
you're
like one of those foreign governments.
Exactly. You're directed to go to certain members of the candy group.
You're only allowed to go to this region and work there.
And extend this further. It's a hedonistic game in aesthetic, but its end goal is completely utilitarian. You are merely to ascend up to the monarchy, at which point the game ends, for you have attained the highest quality of life.
So in this game, is the candy just the opiate of the people?
No, I mean, I think it's operating in a way similar to Chutes and Ladders, though. It's taking the sort of fantasies of childhood life, an endless childhood with no utility, and saying, no, get to work.
Yeah, you're making me wonder. I mean, these are two major games, or I guess, I don't know, foundational, fundamental games of my childhood. What do they teach little kids? I mean, what is the message? Like, you're going to have to work and work your way. Well, actually, it just brought back another game to mind, which is too obvious almost to mention, but life.
Oh, the game of life. I mean, the game of life is almost insidious, isn't it? Because it's essentially it's blatant in its messaging, because it's telling you what is valuable in life. It's saying...
Yeah, how you win.
Yeah, how you win in life is you get money, you get a family, you get a nice house with good market value, and you get a job that's high paying, and there's nothing outside of wealth, monetary value, and family values. It's the most conservative game imaginable, and it's immediately telling you as a child, hey, you better follow the markets, boy. It even has stocks, man.
Yeah, and even at the end, it's just funny. What they don't say is you're at the end and you're dead. But it says, you end up at this place where you add everything up and you say, yay.
Yeah, you retire and you just enjoy your accruing wealth. And there's no ending past that of death. It's just this fantasy that, no, it's actually worth it in the end. Your endless attainment of wealth for no other higher values, by the way. There's no art goal. There's no spiritual goal. It is pure monetary nihilism.
Yeah. What's funny about the game of life is that because my kids have been of different ages, we've had different versions of the game of life. And I remember, there was a Simpsons game of life, there was the classic game of life. But it didn't seem to matter which version or kind of frame you put it in. It always was the same. It was always the same message. Though there was one thing I did appreciate about the game of life. Did you notice that you can choose between career and college? And my memory is when I was young, we always chose college because we knew that was the way to make more money. But since then, when I've been playing the game lately, I noticed that you're just as likely, it seems, to win the game of life and be rich at the end of it if you don't go to college, which I think more people are learning today, actually, in our culture. So, weird, huh?
It's a sophisticated game. What can I say? Another game. You know what's interesting?
Wait, so what's our takeaway in all this?
Well, here's one other example that might lead us to a revelation here. Monopoly. Did you know that Monopoly started as a satire businesses.
No, really?
Yeah,
It was.
that was its original
It
concept.
was to kind of mock the whole plutocrat idea, the whole rich person,
Absolutely.
and the way they were living.
Absolutely.
I had no idea. Where'd you hear that?
I think it's just one of those fun facts you hear so often.
I
But,
hope you're not wrong. Otherwise, we'll get sued by the makers of Monopoly.
But it's
This is satire, by the way.
But Monopoly's origin is satire, and then its transformation to what it is now, which is just a standard board game you place along any other board game, really shows how board games are fixated on this idea of a mixture of meritocracy and pure utility.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Would any board game be interesting that you don't have a way to win?
I feel like there are board games along those lines, at least. Like there's collaborative board games.
But then that's the old will. We all win. It's a tie, always a tie at the Y. But the society's getting better.
I mean, the board games that adults play usually do not have one-player victories. You know, there's stuff like
team victories or one
team
player
victories,
or
exactly, where it's a group that wins as opposed to just one person.
yeah. I don't really enjoy those. How about you?
Well, any board game that takes 20 minutes to learn is not pleasurable. That's my rule of thumb.
No, not to go down that tangent, but here we are. It is kind of interesting how games now are being taught not by the instruction book so much, but by the YouTube video that now you can find on any game. It's almost like any game has its podcaster who's recorded this informational. Here's how to play this game.
And that's why I think board games have given up on being for the proletarians out there. They just assume that you have all this wealth and time to expend, or to even
and access to the internet
to touch the pleasures this game can offer. I think this is truly the most sickening board games have ever been.
No, well, what's funny about that is those guys are making money, making informational videos about how to play games. So they monetized. Just like we're trying right here, they monetized what they're doing.
That's why I think the only truly quality games out there are the ones you can play with pencil and paper. Hangman, tic-tac-toe, the dot game.
Good grief.
You know, that's the pleasurable stuff.
You know what?
There.
You know, no. To me, I'm a purist. I think chess is probably one of the ultimates. And what I find interesting when I think of chess and board games and all that is something I read about in the book called The Immortal Game, where they talked about the movement from checkers and draughts, I don't know how you say draughts, where you're throwing dice, and it's all up to the dice, luck of the dice, an issue of luck to win, to strategy games where each person starts supposedly on an even footing. That shift, according to the writer of that book, is a suggestion that people said, we have some self-determination. Candyland really doesn't have self-determination, does it?
Absolutely. It has a fantasy of it, though, because it still is a competition between you and other players, though.
What about the Chutes and Ladders?
Same thing. It's completely random chance, but it's presenting the idea that you are in some way better if you do win.
Yeah, and it seems to imply that you must run. You have to run. You have to roll the dice. You have to move. So you have to go, and it's a matter of luck or chance whether or not you succeed or not. But if you do succeed, you win.
Yeah, and in that way, it's a very brutally honest, cynical even, capture of what it is like to be a worker under capitalism. You know?
Oh, brother.
It's complete random odds if you succeed. But for whatever reason, our society says, you know what, you did a really good job with those random odds.
Yeah, see, I don't know that I buy. I understand there are the outliers who are there. They luck out. They bet on the right stock. Yeah,
I would say the standard.
No, I think there are people who are truly competent and work very hard and are able to get ahead because of their abilities. Don't you think?
I don't know.
No.
I think what's truly made it the case for the meritocratic rich person bleak is the recent events surrounding one. I hate to mention him already in this podcast, but Elon Musk.
Oh no, are we really going there already?
He's tanked his own company
I'll
by
write that
buying
down as a
Twitter.
subject. Okay, we'll write that as a subject, but we don't necessarily agree on that. And
well, once upon a time, it was viewed as the case that if you're a billionaire because you innovate or whatever, that there's some intelligence there. That's why people respect the opinions of someone like Bill Gates. But what's so great about Elon Musk in the way is via him making one of the worst financial decisions of all time, maybe. He has truly demonstrated that being a billionaire doesn't mean crap.
Okay, no, we should move away from Elon Musk. I think that's another topic for a whole nother day. But this issue is, I'm still thinking about the board games for a minute. What do you make of a child who would say, I refuse to play? Who is at a table and there's 4 or 5 kids, let's say little kids, and they're going to play Candyland or shoot some letters, and he just says, I'm not going to get on that, whatever that is, that path, and be forced by chance and by the luck of the draw or the luck of the die. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to opt out.
I think we should mark them down for antisocial behavior and report
Get them counseling.
Report them to the relevant authorities and see what we can have happen there.
Yeah, really, a little medication will help him, and then he'll be ready to conform and move right along that line again.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
What kind of kid were you?
Oh, I would always play Candyland. That was my favorite game.
Yeah, but I remember you cheating. Weren't you a cheater?
Oh, yeah. What I would do is, it was a very sophisticated process. What I'd do is that I would put the card that takes you the furthest up the path, I would put second in the deck, and I would tell the person next to me, oh, you go first. So they pick up the first card, and it just moves them up 3 spaces. And then I go next, and I pick up the card that, leads you immediately to the end.
And they say, Elam, how did you win again?
I said, oh, I guess I'm just that lucky. And that's the thing that Candyland also teaches.
Wait,
there is a meritocracy if you're willing to act immorally.
If you're willing to work outside the norms and the rules.
If you're willing to discard all ethics, you too can be a success.
Well, okay, so I guess that's been a big part of this lesson from Infobores is that
cheat.
If you cheat, you might get ahead. But remember, at least biblically, it's only for a time. There is an answer. You do have to give an answer eventually for bad ethics.
That's where you bring out your Uno reverse and try to see if you can do a karma dodge there.
Or like your sister has that Uno explosion thing where randomly you never know it's going to explode 5 or 6 cards on you.
Yeah, you can also do the skip. There's a lot of options here. Maybe if at the pearly gates, St. Peter?
Boy, you need to learn your jokes better, but yeah.
St. Peter says, all right, you have accrued much karmic waste upon you.
I don't think that St. Peter is going to stand at the gates and talk about somebody's karmic waste. All
right, St. Peter says you've accrued a lot of sin on you, and you must reap what you've sown, right? To which you respond, all right, I understand, St. Peter, that I have deserved this. However, and then you pull out your +4 card from Uno, and then it's applied to the person behind you online.
That is the worst theology I've ever heard, but boy, wouldn't that be a great moment in heaven history? And then, where that one guy, he wasn't going to get in until he pulled out that +4 card, and now here he is, and that poor guy behind him.
Immediately went to the 9th circle.
That's so terrible. Yeah, Dante never thought of that.
Immediately went right next to what was it, Brutus?
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge that this is
Cassius?
just bad theology. Anyways. Well, this has been a lot of fun. We strayed a long ways from our topic. What was our topic again? Oh, yeah.
Topics.
What topics we were going to talk about. I'm not sure we've gotten very far on that, but I guess we found a topic for this one. Anyways, I'm Chris.
And I'm Elam.
And this is Infobores. And join us again next week.
Infobores. Oh, sorry. I think I messed up the timing on that one.
Let's try it again. I'm Elam. Try that again. I'm Chris.
And I'm Chris.
Oh, yeah, boy, forget it. Anyways, this is Infobores, and we hope you join us for our next
episode.
All right. Have a good one.
Totus floreo. Amore virginali, totus arleo. Novus amores copereo. Novus amores copereo.
About information.
Thanks, Elon.